I'm Tommie Lee, and this is the Scam of the Week. Megan White joining us from the Better Business Bureau serving Northern Indiana. Megan, how are you?
Hi, Tommie. It is great to see you. I am wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Now, it's a busy time for people who are buying and selling homes, and it's a time when a lot of people pack up and relocate. I'm guessing scammers are also having a busy time ramping up their activity around this time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So spring and summer tend to be the most popular times to move. And unfortunately, scammers are aware of this. And you're right, they do ramp up their efforts to take advantage of people. And these people are already juggling a lot and going through a busy and stressful time. So whether you're moving across town or moving across the country, it's a prime window for dishonest companies and just outright scammers to take advantage of the hurried decisions that often come with home buying.
Now, it's unfortunate, but I guess it's really not that surprising. As we all know, moving can be really chaotic. You've got your hands full with the logistics and the packing and the paperwork and do we still need this and blah, blah, blah. And now we have to add scam prevention to the list of things you got to think about.
Yes, it is really important to keep in mind. And scammers count on that chaos that you're talking about. So when people are under that kind of pressure, they're likely to make snap decisions. They skip important research steps or even trust companies that look official but really aren't. So actually, Tommie, last year alone, the Better Business Bureau received nearly 6,000 complaints about moving companies. And these aren't minor issues that we're talking about. The consumers are losing thousands of dollars and in many cases, even all of their belongings.
That is crazy. And I understand that there are a few different types of scams that people need to watch out for.
Yeah, there are actually 4 types of scams that we're seeing. So I just want to take a quick look at those. First, there's the no-show scam. And this one's really pretty straightforward and frustrating. A moving company typically starts by showing up and they give you a quote to move your furniture. Then you pay a deposit. You expect the movers to show up on moving day, but when the day comes, they just don't arrive. Your deposit's gone and you are left scrambling, often under those tight timelines. The second version, there is the unauthorized upcharge scam. So this is when your card gets charged more than the agreed upon quote, sometimes hundreds or even thousands of dollars more without any valid reason. So when you try to contest the charge, the company becomes unresponsive as usual when scammers are behind it and claim that it was part of the fine print in the agreement if they do respond to you at all.
Lovely.
In the third version, you might experience the extra fees scam. The mover gives you a quote based on estimated weight, and then after your belongings are loaded onto the truck and the moving company informs you that the load is heavier than expected, and in order to get your items back, you'll need to pay a much higher fee, often double or triple the original estimate. And then the last one that I want to tell you about, and some may argue that this is actually the worst case scenario, let's talk about the stolen item scam. So the company appears legitimate at first, and they give you an estimate. They show up on time, and they even load your belongings. And things seem to be going great up to this point. But this is when things take a turn for the worse. And your items either never arrive to the destination or the movers demand more money before they'll release your possessions.
That last one sounds pretty devastating. Let's talk about how people can protect themselves. What are some of the warning signs that we need to watch out for?
Yeah. So the most important step really is just to slow down and do your research. You want to start by checking whether the company is licensed and insured. If you're moving across state lines, you really want to make sure they have a valid U.S. Department of Transportation number. And you make sure that you confirm that the number they give you is legitimate. Another great place that you can start is with the Better Business Bureau website. You can look up the business at bbb.org. You can see if they are BBB accredited. This means that they've agreed to let us thoroughly vet them and that we have found them to be trustworthy. If they aren't accredited, it doesn't mean that they're a bad business. It just means that you'll want to do a little bit more research on them because we haven't. At bbb.org, you can read reviews, you can look at their complaint history, and you can see if they've resolved those past issues. If the company doesn't have much of a track record, and if most of the reviews are either overwhelmingly negative or seem to be a little too good to be true, it's probably a sign that you should think twice before using them.
And if that advice sounds familiar, it's because we talk about both of those every week. You got to do your research and bbb.org is an excellent place to do that. What about the quote process? That seems like another very key component to all of this.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You want to be wary of any company that gives you a quote without doing a walkthrough. And that walkthrough can be in person or virtual, doesn't matter, but a reliable mover will want a clear picture of what they're moving before they give you a firm estimate.
So let's talk about the deposit. What's normal? What's not?
Great question. Reputable movers typically won't require a large deposit up front. In fact, many don't ask for any until after the move is complete. If a company asks for a significant deposit, especially in cash or by wire transfer, that is a major red flag, Tommie. And once you've paid, it is much harder to get that money back if things go wrong.
Good to know. Now, I assume that people should get all the details in writing.
You are correct. Yes. Always, always, always get a written estimate and a contract. You want to make sure everything is documented, including the price, what's included, pickup and delivery dates, and the company's policy on additional fees. And read the fine print before you sign. And don't be afraid to ask questions if something doesn't seem right.
And what should somebody do if they think that they have been scammed?
The best thing they can do is to take action right away. You want to start by reporting the scam to BBB Scam Tracker at bbb.org/scam tracker. And you should also notify the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov. And if your belongings were stolen or being held for more money, be sure to contact the local law enforcement immediately. If you've shared any financial information like your credit card number, reach out to your bank or the credit card issuer to dispute the charges and secure your accounts. You might also consider placing a fraud alert or even a credit freeze with the major credit bureaus to help protect against identity theft.
An excellent step a lot of people don't think about. Megan, thank you so much. This is the kind of advice that can really save somebody from a major disaster, both financial and personal.
Oh, it sure can. Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to help people avoid. So hopefully this helps them feel more confident and more prepared as they navigate their next move.
Absolutely. And everybody listening, if you're gearing up for a move, make sure you take the time. We always say this. Do the research, protect yourself. It's going to pay off in the long run and save you a lot of headache and heartache. Megan White with the Better Business Bureau, thank you so much. We're going to talk to you again next week for the Scam of the Week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Tommie.
Podcasts by Federated Media.